Welcome back to the Thinking Big podcast. I'm your host, Sean Osborn, and today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing experiences that I've ever had. Imagine this, a secret archive vault filled with hundreds of unpublished, unseen manuscripts and personal notes from one of the greatest minds in personal development, Napoleon Hill. That's right. I recently had the privilege and the opportunity to join Russell Brunson, Don Green, the president of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, James Hill, Napoleon Hill's grandson, and a few top entrepreneurs to dig through these rare archives seen by very few. What we discovered there was beyond shocking. It was like finding the blueprint of a master architect. These weren't just Hill's personal musings. They were clear, strategic steps that made him not just an author, but a legendary entrepreneur. And today, I'm going to reveal a framework that I created based on what Russell Brunson distilled down as the 10 biggest lessons that we learned at Napoleon Hill's Hidden Works. A framework that an entrepreneur can apply right now at any time, and I call it the Promotions Framework. This isn't just a learning. It's about expanding your impact in a way that you've never imagined. Grab your notepads, get comfortable, and let's dive into the secret playbook of one of history's greatest minds. All right, so number one in the Promotions Framework, P, for philosophy creation. Our first shocking realization in this archives was how deliberate Hill was about creating his core philosophy. This wasn't just some random collection of thoughts. It was meticulously crafted through decades of research, interviews, and relentless refinement. The philosophy that you know now as, for instance, Law of Success started as a massive 8-book volume that encapsulated every major insight that Hill had gathered from giants like Carnegie, Ford, Edison. And I was floored when I saw the original manuscript. It was literally a gold-edged massive book that looked like a success Bible. And Hill didn't just write a book. He created a doctrine. His framework of achievement wasn't just, content. It was a structured, organized philosophy. For Hill, this was his life work, and it was designed to endure. My key takeaways from that first one for entrepreneurs especially, this whole thing is really geared towards entrepreneurs, is don't just create content, create a philosophy. Your framework should be the bedrock of your brand, guiding every product, every message, every piece of advice that you offer. Number two in the Promotions Framework is R, for Relentless Promotion. One of the most shocking things Russell found was the extent of Hill's promotional efforts. This guy was relentless. We found stacks of old ads, manuscripts, radio shows, articles, all meticulously crafted to promote his work. Hill didn't just hope people would find his books. He made damn sure that they did. We even found pre-written radio scripts where every single line was designed to promote a specific book or idea of Hill's. Hill understood that writing the book was only the first half of the battle, with only the smallest part of the battle, really. The other half was getting it into the hands of millions, getting it into people, because if no one reads it, it doesn't matter how good your book is. And my key takeaway from that one was it isn't enough to just create something great. You have to promote it relentlessly. Be obsessed with sharing your message and don't stop until the world knows your damn name. Number three in the Promotions Framework, O, for Origin Story Mastery. And here's a twist that you probably didn't see coming. Hill retold his story about meeting Andrew Carnegie over and over again, tweaking it each time to highlight different lessons. This wasn't just to keep things fresh. It was strategic. We saw manuscripts where Hill would start every piece with his origin story. It was like he knew that the power of his brand lay in the life pivotal moment when he said yes to Carnegie, to his Carnegie challenge. Seeing these early drafts in the archives was like looking at the blueprint of a master storyteller who knew exactly how to pull us into his world. Key takeaway from that was your origin story isn't just a nice to have. It's the foundation of your brand. Tell it, refine it, and keep telling it until it's woven into the fabric of everything that you do. All right, number 4 in the Promotions Framework is M, for Master Marketing. 20 years before Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, Hill was teaching advertising marketing. Here's actually his book. So we found in the archive, this is his lessons that he taught for marketing. Yeah, you heard that. He was a marketing genius long before he was a famous author. As a matter of fact, you'll have access to this in the Secrets of Success if you do that. But this is an amazing find in the archives. And in this book, we found lessons, plans, and course material from this time of teaching truthful advertising. And again, here's a copy, and only a few people have ever seen this, besides the people who took the course back in the 1918 or so. Russell has been authorized to keep this stuff alive and to reprint this. So again, you will have access to this if you are part of the Secrets of Success platform. It'll be in the show notes, but if you want copies of this stuff is just so amazing. And this wasn't just about selling products. Hill was teaching the psychology behind why people buy. That's what's so important. That's what's so big is he's teaching the psychology of why people buy long before it was cool. It's cool now, but this was long before it's cool. Seeing this material was a wake-up call. Hill didn't just stumble upon success. He understood how to market himself better than most entrepreneurs did. That's it. He understood that. So here's my takeaways for this one. You must become a master of marketing. Learn the psychology, the strategy, the tactics. Your marketing skills are what will set your work apart from everybody else's. Number 5 in the promotions framework, O for own your distribution channels. And I have been teaching this for the past couple of years because it is so huge. And we came across stacks of Hill's magazines like Hill's Golden Rule, the Napoleon Hill magazine. And it was clear he wasn't just waiting for someone else to spread his message. He built his own platforms. Hill knew the importance of controlling his own distribution. He was essentially building his own media empire before there was such a thing. Owning these channels gave him the power to directly reach his audience with his philosophies, products, and teachings. And again, my biggest takeaway from that was, again, I've been teaching this list building framework for over the past year because it is one of the ways for you to own your own traffic, be your own platform. It doesn't rely on someone else's platform like social media that can cancel you at any time. So own your own platform, build your own, build your list, follow my stuff and learn list building, get your own list in order for you to really grow. This will be the biggest step in your success. All right, number 6 in the promotions framework, T for tailor your niches. Here is another mind-blowing discovery. Hill didn't just create one version of his philosophy. He created multiple versions targeted at specific audiences. He niched them down. From Think and Grow Rich, which was for entrepreneurs, to Raise Your Own Salary, which was for employees. Hill tailored his message to speak directly to different niches. Finding these niche-focused books in his archives was like finding, the key to a huge marketing strategy. Hill knew that by niching down, he could reach more people and sell more books. So our big takeaway as entrepreneurs for this is take your core frameworks and adapt them for specific audiences. Niche them down. It's the same principles, but different packaging. And that's what makes them resonate with the people that you're talking to. Number 7 in the promotions framework is I for intense partnerships. One of the biggest surprises was learning more about Hill's partnership with W. Clement Stone. Stone was a billionaire who not only loved Hill's work, but also wanted to help bring it back into the spotlight again. And their partnership reignited Hill's career and allowed him to scale his message in ways that he never could have done it before or alone. Stone didn't just support Hill financially, he was instrumental in amplifying Hill's teachings to new audiences. And my biggest takeaway, and again, my biggest learning over the past 18 months has been, I cannot do this alone. This is why I am aligning myself with people like greats like Russell Brunson and others. Don't go it alone. Partnerships can be the catalyst that take you and your business to the next level. Find people who share your vision and can help you reach beyond your current limits. Number 8 in the promotions framework is O for optimize frameworks. Hill's archives were filled with revisions of his work, revisions and revisions. Every time he wrote or spoke, he was refining his message, honing his frameworks, and making them better. It was a relentless process of tweaking, adjusting, perfecting. Even his famous principles, like the mastermind, were constantly being revised and constantly being updated. Seeing all of these iterations in this archive showed us how committed Hill was to getting his message right. My biggest takeaway was never settle. Keep optimizing and refining your frameworks. Keep them going. The first version is never going to be the best version. Test it, tweak it, improve it until your message is airtight. And number 9 in the promotions framework, N for never stop refining. Don't stop. Keep going. He'll never stop refining his approach. We found countless versions of the same stories, the same lessons, each slightly different. He wasn't just sharing information. He was experimenting with how to make his message hit harder. The archives were like a timeline of evolution, proof that Hill was always searching for new and better ways to teach and reach the people he wanted. And number 10 in the promotions framework, S for succession and legacy planning. Again, finally, and probably the most critical part of Hill's strategy was his legacy. Hill didn't just build a successful career. He built a foundation to ensure his teachings would live on long after he was gone. In the archives, we saw early documents outlining his plans for the foundation, his ideas for future publications, and strategies for keeping his work alive. Hill wasn't just thinking about his success. He was thinking about how to make sure it didn't end with him. And my biggest takeaway from that was start thinking about your legacy now. How do you want to be remembered? This was one of the driving forces behind Russell's secret of success. That whole initiative was because he does not want his stuff or these other things to die on the vine. He wants to keep them at the forefront of people, keeping them available for people to learn. Set up systems, structures, or even, foundations that will carry your work forward. Your impact shouldn't end when you do. And there you have it, the promotions framework, straight from the secret archives of Napoleon Hill, where few have ever seen. It was such an amazing time there. Hill wasn't just a great thinker. He was a strategic genius who built his success on a series of deliberate actions. Each element in his framework is a blueprint for building a legacy that lasts. And remember, it's not just about what you create. It's about how you promote it, refine it, and ensure your work lives on. So take these insights, apply them, start thinking about how you can create your own unstoppable legacy. Thanks for tuning into the Thinking Big podcast. And if this episode lit a fire under you, don't forget to subscribe or leave a review and share it with someone who might need to hear this message as well, another entrepreneur. Until next time, keep thinking big and keep promoting.